Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. This time we're taking a look at the Montauk Project.
Yeah, it's a fascinating one.
It really is. So what are we dealing with here?
Well, the Montauk Project is one of those conspiracy theories that just grabs you.
Oh, it does. It's got everything.
It really does. Government secrets,
Time travel,
mind control, even,
interdimensional beings.
yeah,
Really?
that's what some people claim.
Okay, I'm hooked already.
Good. So, where do we start with all this?
Good question. I think we need to go back to the beginning.
The origin story.
Exactly. How did this whole Montauk Project thing get started?
Well, it all kind of traces back to a guy named Preston Nichols.
Okay, who was he?
He was an electrical engineer.
An engineer.
Yeah, and he claimed to have recovered these repressed memories of working on this top-secret project at Camp Hero.
Hold on. Repressed memories, like he just suddenly remembered all this.
That's what he said.
That's a little sus, don't you think?
Yeah, a lot of people were skeptical. I can imagine. But he wrote books about it, right?
He did. The Montauk Project, Experiments in Time, is probably the most famous one.
And that's what really kicked off the whole conspiracy theory.
Yeah, that's what really got people talking.
But if we're going to deep dive into this, we need to separate fact from fiction.
Right, what do we actually know for sure?
Well, Camp Hero is a real place.
It was a former Air Force station.
On the tip of Long Island, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was a radar station during World War II and then the Cold War.
So there's a real foundation there, at least.
Yeah, it wasn't just some made-up location.
Which makes you wonder, though, doesn't it? If there was already so much secrecy surrounding Camp Hero, could there have been even more going on behind the scenes?
That's the question, isn't it? What were they really doing there?
All right, so let's get into some of the specifics.
Let's talk about those mind control experiments.
Okay, this is where it starts to get a little creepy.
A little.
Okay, a lot creepy. What were they trying to do with these experiments?
Well, the theory goes that they were trying to create, like, psychic spies.
Psychic spies? What, like, people who could read minds?
Kinda. But it goes further than that.
How much further?
Imagine soldiers who could move objects with their minds.
Telekinesis.
Exactly. Or see things happening miles away.
Like remote viewing.
Yeah, like that.
And
maybe even manipulate reality itself.
Okay, now that's just scary.
It is pretty wild, right?
And how were they supposedly doing this?
Well, it gets pretty dark here.
Dark.
Think intense electromagnetic fields, subliminal messaging. Even some people talk about torture.
That's messed up.
Yeah, it's some seriously disturbing stuff.
So where does Preston Nichols fit into all of this?
Well, he said he was an electrical engineer on the project.
An engineer.
Yeah, and he said they were using radar technology.
For mind control.
No, not just that.
What else then?
He claimed they were trying to create, get this, time-space distortion.
Break time travel.
That's what he claimed.
But is there any proof?
That's the thing. There's no real evidence to back it up.
So it's just his word.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's tough.
It is. But it's so captivating.
You gotta admit, the idea of time travel is pretty cool.
It is. And that's what keeps people interested in the Montauk Project.
Even without the evidence.
Even without the evidence.
All right, let's move on to something else.
What about the Montauk Monster?
Oh, yeah, that thing. Wasn't it some weird creature that washed up on the beach?
That's the one. And some people believe it was connected to the Montauk Project.
Really?
How so?
Well, some say it was a result of the experiments, like some kind of mutation or something.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, and others think it might have been a creature from another dimension.
Another dimension.
Yeah.
Like the interdimensional beings.
Yeah, exactly. It's all connected.
So we've got time travel, mind control, interdimensional beings, and a mysterious monster.
Sounds like a good movie.
It does. But how do we know what to believe?
That's the challenge, isn't it? It is. But that's what makes deep dives like this so interesting.
Absolutely. We get to explore the possibilities, even if they sound crazy.
All right, so what's next?
Let's talk about the Philadelphia experiment.
Oh, yeah. That's another famous one.
Right. And some people believe it's connected to the Montauk Project.
Really? How so?
Well, the Philadelphia experiment was this alleged experiment where the Navy tried to make a ship invisible.
Invisible?
Yeah, to radar.
Using what, like some kind of cloaking device?
Well, they were supposedly using electromagnetic fields.
And it worked.
That's what the story says. But it didn't go as planned.
What happened?
Well, according to the rumors, the ship didn't just become invisible, it teleported.
Teleported, like beamed up Scotty style.
Exactly. And some people even say it traveled through time.
Whoa. Okay, now we're talking.
I know, right?
So how does this tie into the Montauk Project?
Well, some people believe that the Montauk Project was a continuation of the research from the Philadelphia experiment
So they took what they learned from trying to make a ship invisible.
and applied it to time travel and mind control.
That's what they're saying.
Wild, right?
It's incredible. And it's just one of the reasons why the Montauk Project continues to fascinate people.
Absolutely.
So where do we go from here?
Well, we've talked a lot about the claims,
The time travel, the mind control, the interdimensional beings?
but now it's time to look at the evidence, or lack thereof,
Right. We need to separate fact from fiction.
and see what we can actually verify.
Okay, so let's get into it.
Let's dive deeper into the Montauk Project and see what we can uncover.
This is going to be good. Stick with us.
Don't go anywhere.
All right, so we're back and ready to really dig into the Montauk Project.
Yeah, let's get into some of those specifics.
Okay, so one thing that keeps coming up is mind control.
Right, these alleged experiments.
And they weren't just talking about, like, influencing people's thoughts. Right?
No, this was way beyond that.
They were supposedly trying to create soldiers with, like, psychic abilities.
That's the theory.
I mean, that's crazy. Like something out of a comic book.
It does sound pretty wild, doesn't it?
It does. But what kind of abilities are we talking about here?
Well, they wanted soldiers who could move objects with their minds.
Telekinesis.
Exactly. Or see things happening far away, like remote viewing.
Wow. And that's not all, is it?
No. Some accounts even suggest they were trying to manipulate reality itself.
Okay, now that's just getting scary.
It is pretty out there.
And how were they supposedly doing this? What were these experiments like?
Well, that's where things get a little dark.
Dark.
Think intense electromagnetic fields, subliminal messaging, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's already pretty intense.
It is. And then there are even accounts of, some pretty brutal stuff.
Like what?
Torture.
Seriously?
Yeah, some people claim they were using torture as part of these experiments.
I mean, I know we're dealing with conspiracy theories here, but that's just messed up.
It is. It's really disturbing stuff.
Okay, so let's try to step back from that for a minute.
Okay. Yeah.
And focus on Preston Nichols again.
Right. The guy who claims to have worked on the project.
He was an electrical engineer, right?
That's what he said.
And what was his role in all of this?
Well, he claimed that they were using radar technology.
For mind control.
Not exactly, no.
What else then?
He said they were trying to create, get this, time-space distortions.
Time travel.
Yeah, essentially.
Whoa. Okay, that's a big claim.
It is, and there's no real evidence to back it up.
So it's just his word again.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, it's a good story.
It is, and I guess that's part of what makes the Montauk Project so intriguing.
It's like, even if you don't believe it, you kind of want to, right?
Yeah, there's definitely something captivating about it.
Okay, so we've talked about mind control. We've talked about time travel.
What about the interdimensional beings?
Oh, yeah, those. That's where things get really weird.
It does get pretty strange.
Yeah. So what's the deal with these interdimensional beings? How do they fit into the Montauk Project?
Well, there are a lot of different theories.
Like what?
Some people believe that the experiments at Camp Hero accidentally opened up portals to other dimensions.
Accidentally?
Yeah, like it wasn't intentional, but their experiments somehow ripped a hole in reality.
And these interdimensional beings just came pouring through.
That's what some people believe.
I mean, that's pretty far out there.
It is, but it's also kind of cool, right?
Oh, I guess so, in a science fiction kind of way.
Yeah, exactly. Like, imagine if there really are other dimensions out there.
And these beings are just hanging out, waiting for us to open a door.
That's a wild thought.
It is. But let's get back to the Montauk Project.
Okay, so how do these interdimensional beings connect to the experiments?
Yeah, what were they doing here?
Well, again, there are different theories.
Some say they were benevolent, right? Like trying to help us or something.
Yeah, there are those who believe that these beings were trying to communicate with us, maybe share knowledge or technology.
Like friendly aliens.
Kinda, yeah. But then there are others who believe that these beings were not so friendly.
More like hostile.
Yeah, some people think they were manipulative, maybe even dangerous.
Oh, wow. That's a different take.
It is. It just adds another layer of mystery to the whole Montauk Project.
So we've got these shadowy government experiments, time travel, mind control, and now interdimensional beings who might be friendly or might be trying to take over the world.
It's a lot to process.
It is. But we're not done yet, are we?
No, we still need to talk about the connection to the Philadelphia experiment.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one. How do these two stories intertwine?
Well, some people believe that the Montauk Project was essentially a continuation of the research that started with the Philadelphia experiment
So they took what they allegedly learned from trying to make a ship invisible.
and applied it to time travel, mind control, and maybe even interdimensional travel.
Wow. Okay, now it's all starting to come together.
It's like a conspiracy theory web with all these different threads connecting to each other.
And the Montauk Project is right at the center of it all.
It really is. It's like the ultimate mystery.
I mean, it's pretty fascinating, even if you don't believe any of it.
I agree. It's a great story, and it really makes you think.
So what's the final verdict? Is the Montauk Project real or not?
Well, that's up to each individual to decide.
I guess so. But I think it's safe to say that the Montauk Project will continue to captivate our imaginations for years to come.
Absolutely. It's a story that's not going away anytime soon.
Okay, well, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have. We've talked about mind control, time travel, interdimensional beings, the Philadelphia experiment, and so much more.
But there's still one more piece of the puzzle we need to explore.
What's that?
The legacy of the Montauk Project.
Ah, yes. How has this story impacted our culture?
And why does it continue to resonate with us today?
Those are great questions, and we'll be tackling them in the final part of our deep dive.
Stick around, folks. It's going to be a good one. Okay, so we're back, and we've been through a lot with this Montauk Project.
We have time travel, mind control.
Interdimensional beings.
It's a lot to take in.
It really is. But even with all that, there's still this part of me that's like, what if?
I get it. It's like this story, even if it's not true, it makes you question everything.
Exactly. Like, what if there really are these secrets out there?
What if the government really is experimenting with things we can't even imagine?
It's kind of exciting and kind of scary at the same time, right?
It is. And that's the power of a good conspiracy theory.
But how do we stay grounded when we're dealing with stuff like this?
Well, I think it's important to remember that it's okay to be curious,
Yeah, I agree.
but we also need to be critical.
Right, like don't just believe everything you hear.
Exactly. Ask questions, do your own
It's
research,
evidence.
and be open to the possibility that you might be wrong.
That's a tough one.
It is. But it's important.
So, with the Montauk Project, even though there's not a lot of hard evidence,
There's still this cultural impact, right?
oh yeah, this story has been everywhere.
Books, movies, TV shows.
Even video games.
It's like it's become part of our collective consciousness.
And I think Stranger Things is a great example of that.
Oh, absolutely. That show is practically a love letter to the Montauk Project.
The secret government experiments, the psychic kids.
The alternate dimensions.
It's all there.
And it's not just Stranger Things either.
You see these themes popping up everywhere.
Movies like The Matrix.
Even Inception.
It's like the Montauk Project has become this cultural touchstone.
For anything weird or mysterious.
Exactly. And whether or not you believe the actual story.
It's undeniable that it's had a huge impact on our culture.
It really has.
So, why do you think this story continues to fascinate us?
Well, I think it's because it taps into something deep within us.
This desire for the unknown.
This fascination with the possibility of something more.
Like, what if there's more to reality than we can see?
What if there are secrets the government is hiding from us?
I think that's what keeps people coming back to the Montauk Project.
It's this idea that maybe, just maybe, there's something truly extraordinary out there.
And that's exciting.
It is. And even if it turns out that the Montauk Project is just a story,
It's a story that makes us think.
it makes us question.
And it makes us wonder about the nature of reality itself.
And sometimes that's enough.
It is. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the Montauk Project,
I think the biggest takeaway for me is this. It's okay to explore these ideas.
it's okay to be curious.
Just remember to stay critical.
Ask questions, do your research.
And don't be afraid to challenge your own beliefs.
Because that's how we learn and grow.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe in the process we'll uncover some truths of our own.
Well said. So thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the Montauk Project.
It's been a wild ride.
It has. And until next time, keep exploring the mysteries of the world.